Welcome to Beyond Hormones, the Business of Wellness, the podcast for hormone and functional medicine providers who want a thriving, predictably profitable practice and maybe a little less stress along the way. Hi, I'm your host, Jody Lane, and I've worked with lots of clinics in marketing, sales, and business development, and I have seen what works and what doesn't. And here's what I believe. Hormone and wellness care should be available to everyone who wants it. And while providers know the medicine, many struggle with the business side of their cash practice. And that's where I come in. See, this podcast is here to share real strategies, real stories, things you can implement in your practice right away. So I am so glad you're here. Come on, let's go. Should you own your own clinic? Well, that is a very big question, and it's one I want to handle right now with a lot of love, but also some real truth. I've had the honor and the privilege to work with so many truly amazing providers. Some are natural entrepreneurs. Others, they struggle with all the extras that come along with ownership. And it got me thinking, just because you're an amazing provider, does that automatically mean business ownership is right for you? For some providers, the happiest and most fulfilled versions of themselves is not as a clinic owner, it's as a provider who's free to focus on what they love most, caring for patients and solving their problems. For others, a lot of the enjoyment does come from building the business, figuring out the puzzle of how to match what they offer with the needs of their audience. And they absolutely love to manage people and get really into the entrepreneurship part. But how do you know which is right for you before you go down that path? That's what this video is all about. Years ago, I came across a book that pretty much changed the way I think about entrepreneurship. It's an oldie. It's called The E-Myth, and it was written by Michael Gerber. In his book, he describes the technician, the person who's really good at their craft. And in our world, that's you, the provider. Here's how he explains it. You're off working for someone else's clinic. You see a ton of patients. You know you're doing the heavy lifting, and you notice that the owner seems to be reaping all the benefits. It's natural to think to yourself, I should just open my own clinic. Then I'll make more money and I'll have more control. But here's what usually happens. You open that clinic, and now you're both the technician and the entrepreneur. Suddenly you've got two full-time jobs. Yes, you're still the provider, taking care of patients and seeing them on a day-to-day basis. But now you're also the accountant, the HR director, the marketer, the inventory manager, and the list goes on. And yes, you can hire people, but you already know that is easier said than done. And that's when reality starts to set in. Business ownership is not just about patient care. It's about leadership. It's about decision making. It's about financial responsibility and constant problem solving. Some providers thrive in that role. Others find it draining. And that doesn't make them any less talented. It just means their true zone of genius is in patient care alone, not in running a business. And that, my friends, is 100% okay. So before you jump into ownership, or if you're already in it and you're feeling a little frustrated, do me a favor, pause and ask yourself these questions and be honest with yourself because your answers matter. Why do I want to open my clinic? Is it because I'm called to lead or because I feel undervalued someplace else? Do I truly want to run a business or do I just want more freedom to focus on patient care? Am I ready to take on two full-time jobs, at least at the start? And do I have the willingness to learn or the resources to hire when it comes to finance and marketing and sales and HR and operations? And what does success look like for me 5 years from now? Is it thriving as a CEO or is it as a provider without all the business stress? Here's what I want you to hear. There is no right answer. Owning a clinic can be incredibly rewarding, but it's not the only path to fulfillment, freedom, or financial success. The real power is in choosing the path that matches your strengths, your values, and most importantly, the life you want to live every single day. Whatever choice you make, clinic owner or provider, you are not less than. You are exactly where you're meant to be when you live your life in purpose. The real gift is figuring out which one makes sense and then following that path. Thank you for listening to Beyond Hormones, the business of wellness. I hope that you're walking away with fresh ideas and real strategies you can use to grow your practice with profit and purpose. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow the show so you never miss a conversation. And if something you heard today resonated with you, do me a favor, share this episode with a friend or a colleague. It's one of the best ways you can support the show, and it might be exactly what they need to hear right now. If you want even more tools and support, go ahead and head over to acceleratedmedicalpractices.com. Until next time, keep doing the work that matters. Your patients need you, and I am cheering you along every step of the way.